Hi everyone, and welcome to the KeraPlan project. This is tutorial 02, where we'll cover the user interface and a lot more. When you launch KeraPlan, you are always presented with this simple schedule at first. You may clear this schedule by clicking on New in the File menu as shown here. But let's go back to our sample schedule, which we will use to navigate the user interface and some menu items. I will now walk you through the various parts of the KeraPlan user interface. What you see here is the Gantt chart panel, or sometimes called the bar chart panel. This is the activity table. It comprises of columns that include the activity ID, WBS, activity name, durations, and so on. The type of information you want to show here may be customized to your choice. This is the resource usage panel, which comprises of the resource histogram on the right and the resource list on the left. Normally, when you launch KeraPlan, the resource usage panel will be kept retracted with only the text resource usage visible at the very bottom. If you click on this text, the resource usage panel will open up to display the full panel. This is the top menu ribbon. As you can see, this ribbon comprises of buttons for the File menu, Undo, Redo, Add Activity, Edit WBS, Copy, Wrap Summary, FS Link, Risk, Baselines, Reports, Project Settings, and Help. We will discuss each item in detail at a later tutorial. This is the bottom ribbon. On the left of this ribbon, you will find some important details of the project schedule, such as the number of activities, number of critical activities, overall project duration, total cost of the project, the data date, the project start date, the project finish date, number of activities selected, and the licensing information. Since the cost figures could be sensitive, it is by default displayed as a bunch of dots. But clicking on it would show you the figure. On the right of this ribbon, you will find menus for organizing, searching, viewing, zoom levels, and the columns modal. Customizing the columns. You may adjust the width of the activity table and Gantt chart panel by clicking and dragging the boundary, left or right as shown here. Similarly, the column widths of the activity table too may be adjusted by clicking and dragging the edges of the columns. Now, let's take a look at the Columns menu, which is the rightmost button in the bottom ribbon. This is the Columns menu, or the Gantt table header modal as it is called. On the left panel you can see all the available items, and the right panel contains those columns that are already in the activity table. Take a look at all the available fields. In addition to the standard scheduling items, fields for earned value, cost, resources, risk, baseline, and activity codes are available. For removing a column, click on the column name in the right panel and click on the Remove button. Similarly, for adding a column, click on the column name in the left panel and click on the Add button. For moving a column left or right, click on the column in the right panel and click on Move Up to move it to the left, and Move Down to move it to the right. Finally, when you have all your chosen columns in the right order, click on OK to commit the changes and exit the modal. Now, let's take a look at the column filters. Clicking on the funnel icon next to any column header will reveal a drop-down filter menu. The filter drop-down is similar to the one in Microsoft Excel. Note that the filters respond in real time. Let's create a filter to extract activities between two dates. Let's choose activities starting after June 28th and finishing before July 25th. For the Start Date column filter, we choose after June 28th under the Where Value drop-down. And for the Finish Date column filter, we choose before July 25th under the Where Value drop-down. There you go. We now have activities within the window of June 28th and July 25th. This was just a demonstration of how to use the column filters. Column filters can be used in conjunction with the View and Organize menus to create very specific type of views. Please play around with them to learn more. Let's now look at the Zoom menu. In KeraPlan, the Zoom menu has 7 options such as day, week, fortnight, month, quarter, semester, and year, depending on which is the smallest unit in the timescale. Next is the very important Activity Edit menu. Double-clicking on any activity will cause its Activity Edit menu to pop up. It allows you to edit multiple activities in one go by moving from one activity to the next using the up-down arrow buttons without having to click on Save Changes every time. The Activity Edit menu will be looked at in detail in a later tutorial. Meanwhile, please play around with it to learn more. Let's now look at the Organize menu. There are 3 options here: rolling up the schedule per the WBS levels, some standard filters, and a combination of grouping and sorting. Take a look at the WBS roll-up. Note that the WBS summary tasks can also individually be rolled up by clicking on the small triangle beside each such task. In addition to the column filters, we also have here some standard filters based on task status and activity codes. The Group and Sort menu allows you to use a combination of grouping by WBS and sorting by ID, start date, finish date, duration, or float. If you untick the WBS grouping, you can sort the schedule without any summary tasks. Let's move to the upper ribbon and check out the Link FS button. Normally, the Link FS button is grayed out until you select 2 or more tasks. Multiple tasks can be selected by pressing Ctrl key and clicking on the tasks you want to select. After selecting the tasks, click on the Link FS button to link them finish to start. This can also be done using the Activity Edit menu as we saw earlier. Often we may need to bunch a number of tasks under a new WBS summary task. This is done using the Wrap Summary button. Select the tasks and click on the Wrap Summary button. Note the creation of a WBS summary task named New Summary. Next, you may rename this task. Next, we'll check out the Edit WBS menu. The WBS editor allows you to create and edit the work breakdown structure of the schedule. To add a child node to any node, click the plus icon beside it. To delete a node, click its minus icon. All its subnodes will also be deleted. To move a node up or down, click the up or down yellow triangles. Its subnodes, if any, will also move with it. To promote or demote a node, along with their subnodes, click the left or right pointing triangles respectively. The weight field against each WBS node is to provide an alternative to physical percent roll-up. By default, the physical percent roll-up is based on duration. If you enter a value in the weight field for every immediate child of a summary, the roll-up switches to a weighted average based on your inputs. An alert icon appears on the summary's percent cell when only some children have weights, indicating the calculation has reverted to duration-based weighting. Once you complete your edits, click on Save Changes to commit the changes. Here's a demonstration of adding a WBS node. As I mentioned earlier, each WBS node may be individually collapsed by clicking on the tiny triangle before the node's name. The non-computed fields of the activities may also be directly edited inline without having to open the Activity Edit modal. Let's see how to baseline the schedule. Make sure the current schedule is the one that you want to freeze as the baseline. Then click on the Baseline button on the top ribbon. Click on Create Baseline. Notice a brown bar just beneath every taskbar. This is the baseline activity. Now let's make a change to the current schedule by shifting the project start date. For that, we will open the Project Settings modal. By mistake, I tried to set the data date instead of the project start date to a future date. KeraPlan has checks to ensure the data date cannot be in the future. I moved the project start date 1 week later than planned. Now you can see clearly how the current schedule, which was shifted 1 week later, compares with the original baseline. Next, let's see how we can run a quantitative risk analysis using Monte Carlo simulation. Before we run Monte Carlo, let's check whether the activities have pessimistic and optimistic durations assigned to them. For that, we must add those columns to the schedule. We shall add the optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic durations. By default, the most likely duration is the original duration. The optimistic and pessimistic durations are assigned and appears to be in order. Now, we will run the Monte Carlo simulation. You may choose either a triangular or beta-PERT distribution. Since beta-PERT is better, let's choose that. This online version has a cap on the number of iterations set at 500 max. This is because it ties up the back-end server. The yet-to-be-released desktop version will not have any cap. The 500 iterations of simulation are complete and the results are displayed. The P10, P50, and P90 values of the finish date are shown as well as the distribution histogram and the criticality index table. The results can either be printed to a PDF or copied to an Excel spreadsheet. We have come to the end of this tutorial. In the next one, we will see how we can import a Primavera P6 XER file and other details. Please do play around with the online version of KeraPlan at sutharitech.com. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.